Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Study the community your business will serve. I'm going to tell you something now. You know, a big reason why many businesses fail, in fact, most businesses fail in maybe their first year or within 5 years. And I'm going to tell you the biggest reason. A lot of times they're not thinking about the community that they are serving. You always got to think about what community are you serving with this product, with this service, you know? And whether that community is online or whether that community is brick and mortar. Let me use a brick and mortar example. If you're going to start a business, okay, I always talk about vegan food because Rom loves vegan burgers and all of that. I love some vegan food. Where are you opening up that business at? Think about it. Where are you opening the business? Where is it at? You know, do you have a crowd? You know, are people in that area will serve that business? Like at my local mall, there's a crystal shop that's going to be open. You know, those metaphysical crystals. Yeah, you have this crystal and you'll get in a certain mood and all of that. Well, that told me that if they really did their research, and they got a pretty big space too, I was like, I hope that there must be a bunch of people around here going to serve that. And I believe that there is. The demographics of the area has been becoming more, I'll just say progressive. A lot of yoga studios popping up and things of that nature. So a lot of people would get into crystals and stuff of that nature, and plus there's a store around the area that sells them anyway. But they would have had to study it first if they're smart. But I've seen plenty of businesses, they don't study the area, especially with a brick and mortar. In fact, I told you I've done some vending, and I've actually thought about opening like kiosks in local malls. Like when I first moved to this area, I walked through the local mall and said, okay, I'm thinking about a book kiosk. First thing I did was walk through the mall several times. And I was like, it ain't gonna work here. Plus they already had a bookstore in the area. So that was gonna be a problem anyway. But even if they did not, let's just say I looked at the demographics and said, it wouldn't work here. But ironically, over the years, I can see where it can work. So I was like, keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. Like if you go through any neighborhood, especially for the brick and mortar people, who lives there? What's your product? What is your product? Okay, will people in this neighborhood buy that particular product? Do they have an interest in it? And indeed, you have organizations, you have businesses that they'll give you a full report on the demographics of an area. They charge a whole lot. I think I saw one time that it was like relatively reasonable. It was relatively reasonable. And in fact, I might even do that, just get the demographics of an area, because trust me, they can tell you the race of the people, income, even have a general idea. That gets deeper. Like big data. Tomato. Big data, they can tell you, they can have a general idea how people in a certain area even voted. That's how deep it is. But you want to find out, you might have to pay a few $1,000s for a report about an area, but it will be worth it. You will make the money because then okay, I can sell this in this area. And, definitely check out, do the foot traffic and everything. Now, let's say you don't want to do that. You want to just be online, which I always said the ideal business, have a brick and mortar store, do vending at different events, and also have online. That's ideal. Like every brick and mortar should have an online presence. And because you can ship stuff across the world. Now that's something too. All right, you have an online store. You selling stuff. Okay, that's great. How are you going to advertise it? Where are you going to talk about it at? Yeah, you can get on social media, maybe, you know, something like IG or Facebook. They allow you to put ads in and everything, and will actually connect you with people. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. You know, but you still want to study who you, ultimately, you still want to study it. So, okay, what's your product? Okay, what type of people like this? You want to say, okay, no matter whether it's in person or online, you want to look at it. I can't emphasize that enough, because you got to think, you're in business to make money. You're in business to make money. You make money by providing a service or a product that people need. But you got to know the people. Because like I was starting out saying, you got plenty of businesses that go out of business. That's because they don't really think about what they're doing. They really don't think about what they're doing. You get some people, they just jump into something. I was like, oh, do people really buy that? Like a health club, gyms or something like that. Are the people in this area going to buy that? You know? Like where I used to live, somebody put in a boxing gym. And, you know, all the times I drove past there, I've seen maybe one or two people in there. That might not have been the neighborhood for that particular thing. They might have needed to do more due diligence and see, okay, are people around here even interested in boxing? And it might just have been the location. If they put it someplace else, it might have stayed full. So that's very important, very important. You know, because you got to think location. In fact, I think it was the Ray Kroc with McDonald's who said, you know, he's not in the restaurant business, he's in the real estate business. Location, you know. And, you know, I mentioned the vegan stuff. You got to think, okay, where am I going to put this vegan restaurant? You know, am I going to put it in a place where it's like maybe conservative and they want to throw down on some beef? Or am I put it someplace where you have a ton of yoga studios, ton of wellness centers, you know, some people who, you know, are really into like natural health and everything, which is the smartest thing to do. That'd be the smarter thing to do, you know? And like I said, I'm gonna look up some, see if I can get something relatively inexpensive. I'm not gonna pay several $1,000s for the time being. I'm not putting together a brick and mortar business. Just to see one of those reports. I'll probably check it out now, after I get off of here. But anyway, study the community your business will serve, then you know what they will need and what you need to do and what you can provide them. And as I've said several times, the best way for a business to survive is to have a community, is to have a specific community, customer base. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.